Connor, when you mentioned the fan fiction, I thought you were going to say something else, which I've been exploding about and needing to talk about.
Matthew.
I have mentioned, I recently, on a podcast, an episode or two ago, I have written one fan fiction in my life. I have read millions and millions infinite of pages, longer than Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Kurt and Blaine from Glee. Blaine having an ankle monitor. Yes. I've read countless. I've written one. And the one I wrote was about Dr. Spencer Reed from Criminal Minds, played by Matthew Gubler, who was like one of my all-time celebrity crushes. And we will not ever be in a place where I will read that fan fiction to you or you will find it. But I will give you the basic summary of the fan fiction, which is that the main character was not my name, but of course I identified with her. And I was
Y/N.
It wasn't a Y/N. I did name her.
Yeah, but it was based on Lady Upfront.
Yeah. So basically the loose plot is that he was my therapist after I went through something really traumatic.
Taboo.
And then we fell in love. Yeah. Because he really got to know me.
That's going to go ahead and go down in the HIPAA book. That's a violation.
Fell in love.
His license is stripped.
And then we were not able to see each other anymore on a professional level due to falling in love with each other in that setting. So we stopped seeing each other didn't see each other for 5 years. Fast forward for 5 years, we're both in the FBI. Okay, trying to navigate how to be co-workers on the same murder case while being in love. Okay, that's the basic premise of the fan fiction.
How old were you when you wrote this? How old?
19.
27.
35. Too old.
I haven't actually.
Too old is.
I actually haven't even written it yet.
And I don't. It's not even something that I want to talk about openly because it's like not funny. Like
no,
I was not.
It is, but
there was no humor behind that fan fiction. There was just me being alone.
Lust.
And I did write it. I had a co-author. I wrote it with my friend over this was before Zoom, over FaceTime. We're talking about, okay, what would Dr. Spencer Reed do in this situation? Anyway, and I that's how much, like, I need you guys to understand the extent of how much I was in love with this man. Yeah. And I've also developed a 3-tiered kind of level of having a celebrity crush that I think will help you also understand how much I care about.
Yeah, I'd like to know about this tier system.
Sure. And I hope I get it right because I was thinking about it in the shower and I was like, this is so genius. Like someone's going to write about it in a textbook, but I fear I'm not going to be able to translate it. So please bear with me. There's 3 tiers to this approach. Tier number 3, which is the least intense tier of having a celebrity crush, is someone and I'm thinking mostly about actors and even singers when I think about this, but there's tons of other celebrities. Is tier 3 is when you consume their content. So when you're watching a movie or something with them or watching them perform, you're in love with them, but just kind of while you're consuming the content.
As you're in love with the character that they're playing?
No, you love them and you think they're hot and you'll maybe even do a little Wikipedia deep dive while consuming the content, but it kind of stops there. You don't think about them too much after consuming the content. That's tier 3. And for me, that's kind of like a Sebastian Stan, Jacob Elordi. Like you're watching, they're gorgeous. You'll Wikipedia, where are they from? How old are they? What's their height? Are they married?
More, but it stops at a certain point.
Cool.
And and
that's
it's just like that's like
the
lowest tier of celebrity crush.
We moved to tier 2
so
where
tier 2 is a step further where you are consuming their content, you're in love with them, you need to consume more. Okay.
Fan
edits. You're watching all of their late night interviews. You're on a deep YouTube spiral. You're entering Reddit. You're on the dark web.
Yes.
You're thinking about them more.
I can't even imagine how.
I don't think you've ever passed tier 3.
I mean, I can't even imagine getting to tier 2. I can't imagine how it gets more intense than going to the dark web.
Let me explain it to you. And even in tier 2, I would say tier 2, you could consume fan fiction. You might not.
Well, then what the fuck is tier 1?
Tier 1 is where
stalking.
No. This is tier 1 you reserve for a select few people. It is the most intimate level of celebrity crush where it's like the thought that you will not spend your life with this person, it is landing you almost in a psych ward. It is scary. And that is how I felt about Matthew. I'm consuming content left and right. I'm writing fan fiction. I thought about him
when you wake up, when you go to bed,
he is all consuming. You know everything about him. Maladaptive daydreaming at its finest. And
what is that?
Like you've fully disassociated, and in your head, people are in the comments are going to be like, what's it called when you like call like this
a citizen's arrest.
Yeah, it's like
I'm about to make my move.
But
over.
I'm just
I'm about
trying.
to step right over Brittany.
I have just created this 3-tiered approach just so you can understand how much I was obsessed with Matthew Gray Gubler. Still am, not tier 1 necessarily, but was, because you can only tier 1 with one person at a time. I met Matthew.
So wait, I
met Matthew 2 nights ago.
I want to rewind a little bit because the way that it happened is an act of God.
Yeah, I don't even know this story.
I am scared because I had just I haven't talked about him until recently. One, he was the voice of Simon and Alvin and the Chipmunks. I've been talking about Alvin and the Chipmunks nonstop. Yeah, I've been talking about Alvin and the Chipmunks nonstop. 2, I brought up the fan fiction recently, which I had never talked about because I've been too embarrassed. I read it to a friend for the first time ever. I read it to Matt King.
And you manifested it in that moment.
Like a month ago. And I was like, I will never read this to anyone again. I've never read this to someone. For whatever reason, I feel safe reading this fan fiction to you, Matt King. Then tucked it away. I've been talking about it recently. And then you take it away.
I just have to give background on this because it is absurd, like how it happened. So we get invited to this premiere, like I don't get invited to things like that, like for good reason. I have nothing to wear to a carpet. So I go shopping, I get pants, I get home, try them on. They're like a little bit too big and you can't wear a belt to a red carpet. You just have to be a Harry Styles guy and like tuck your shirt in and call it a day. And my pants were falling off. So I call Brooke, doesn't answer. I call Patricia, our friend. I was like, you need to bring me a safety pin, please, and some Tums because something's happening.
Yeah.
And because I knew she had a huge, like, basically trough of Tums in her kitchen. She brings me the safety pin. We're on the red carpet. She hands me safety pin. And then Brooke, I start to take pictures of Brooke, and she's like, Matthew Gray Gubler. And like starts to
like Matt had texted me. Matt wasn't there yet. Matt had texted me, Matthew Gray Gubler's here, and I responded. I was like, you're fucking with me, because I had just read him that fan fiction, and he was the one person I had read that fan fiction.
You thought he was
I thought he was
absolutely
taking the piss out of me. Yeah.
Well, hang on. So Brooke is grabbing me like, Connor, Matthew Gray Gubler. I'm like, who is this? I know his face, and I know his name.
I know his face too. I don't know what he's been in.
It's hard to. He like
is Dr. Spencer Reed in Criminal Minds, as well as Simon and Alvin and the Chipmunks. He's in tons of other stuff.
Well, Brooke extends to me that like I'm obsessed with him, and I can see it in her face because she is shaking, and we're on the carpet, and there's like
Sandra Bullock's in front of us. I'm having
she's having a conniption,
a spasm,
and I'm like, how am I gonna get Brooke over to him in like a natural way? And I see that his button has fallen off his blazer. And I'm like, guess who has an extra safety pin? I go, hey, Matthew, like, I have a safety pin. Do you want me to, like, get your button on? And he's like, dude, you just saved my life. Like, and we're talking, and he's like, you don't know, like, that you just, like, I couldn't have gone out there on the carpet, like, take my picture.
In the whole world.
And I'm like, of course. I need you to meet my friend Brooke.
No, that isn't, you didn't get that.
Oh, no,
because I'm looking at Connor,
screamed.
and I am so sorry. I want to apologize in advance. I had the worst. I was not judging you favorably in that moment. I thought, I love you to goddamn death, but Connor does have some, what's the word?
Ethical social climbing.
Ethical social clout chasing climbing tendencies.
I'm a networker.
He's a networker. It's his business. What can he say?
Famously.
I thought at this point I'm seeing red. I'm in a blind rage. I thought Connor was making a video with Matthew, and was not going to introduce me, because there have been times in the past. No offense, Connor, love you to goddamn death, where Connor has talked to people that I really want to meet. No introduction. I would go as far as to say gatekeeping. Girl boss will not let me near them.
Well, I'm also meeting these people for the first time.
Right. So but that's where my head went, is he is not going to introduce me. He is making a video. I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know about the safety pin. He's touching Matt. He's like all over Matthew, and I'm going, Connor.
No. You're going, Connor, and I can hear you. And we're on a red. Well, it was green, but it was a red carpet event. There's fans yelling, Sandra, Matthew, and Brooke's going, Connor, but from the red carpet, not from the audience. And I'm like, Brooke, I'm fucking working my thing right now. I'm doing my thing. And then I'm finally like, oh, Brooke, come over here, like, meet Matthew. And then it just,
I blacked.
I think you blacked out, but I did walk away because you guys were having a moment. But I did get a bunch on.
Who filmed it?
I took a bunch of. I was firing off.
We
photos.
have videos of me and Matthew that we can insert and post. But I feel like
she's
I watched
hands
them
on her knees, like.
I watched the videos back, and I thought I was being a little shy. Like, oh my god, I'm such a big fan. screaming, I love you. Like, so scary. Like, I'm watching back and I'm like, he wants me dead.
Gripping onto his fucking
And then he's yelling, he's telling Connor, you saved me. I had no idea about the safety pin. He's telling Connor, you saved me. I go, you saved me, Matthew.
Wait, is that on video?
Yeah.
Because I remember that happening.
I'm going, you saved me.
And then you go like this, oh, no, that wasn't to me. You like turn.
And then Connor gave him a hug and I was like, I'm sorry. I know I didn't give you a safety pin. I've just got to kind of squeeze in here. And I'm holding on to dear. He was, they say never meet your idols. He was just like, I knew he was going to be nice.
And you know what? I saw the video and I was blown away by how charismatic and personable he was.
He is the nicest guy and this is my phone background, which is not surprising to anybody in the slightest, probably. That's me and Matthew.
Yeah.
It was really, really funny.
It was
like, I mean,
I can't think of like a better meet your idol. I can't stop thinking about it or talking about it. It's just the best thing that's ever happened. It's the best night of my life. Best thing that's ever happened to me. I can't even, I hope you guys understand how much that meant to me. I hope the 3-tiered celebrity crush system that I created helped. I hope the fan fiction helped.
Do you now check that off of, are you like, okay, I was
literally like, if I get hit by a bus right now on this green carpet, completely.
So like, so is that like when a ghost is stuck on the in between, and it's like I would
have been able to pass on at that moment.
You would have been on. Okay.
If I was a ghost, I would be passing.